2 unsolved homicides, and quite frankly, if some friends of those victims would talk to us, we would have 0 unsolved homicides. But apparently their friends had rather they or these folks be dead. Then help us find out who the murderers are. But that's a side story. I knew when we sent this investigative team there that they would do everything they could, and would more than likely solve this homicide because they are simply the very best. And they did on this case what they do on every other case. They investigated this homicide as if our victims Damian Tillman, Kevin Springfield and Brandon Rowlands were their brothers. That's the energy and enthusiasm. They work 24/7 around the clock, along with all of their colleagues, and they have solved the case. We have locked up the 3 people that are responsible for the murders of these guys. Let me once again lay out the details for you, if you missed it originally. I want you to think about this. This is Polk County. Frostproof, the very south end of the county. It's an extremely rural area. The county's 2,000 square miles. Population is almost 700,000, and all of it is from mid-Polk County north. So it's sparsely populated area that's made up of cow pastures, orange groves, beautiful lakes, and a very, very low crime rate in the Frostproof area, which is one of the best kept secrets. And one of the safest places to live, any place in the nation. But all of that came to a crashing halt on Lake Street Road. When we found these people, our victims, massacred, literally massacred. We thought, my goodness, what could have happened there? Well, we know now. I'm going to introduce you to the people that were responsible for that. Then I'm going to give you a timeline. So this is going to take a couple of minutes, and you pick from it. What you need here are: this is the trigger man. This is the guy who directly did the damage. His name is Tony Wiggins. He is known as TJ. He is 26 years of age. This is Mary Whatmore. She is 27 years of age. And she is the girlfriend of Tony Wiggins. And this is Robert Wiggins. He is 21 years of age. And he is the brother, obviously, to TJ. But let me stop for a minute and give you a little history on TJ. TJ, someone who his criminal history should shock your conscience. It does mine. TJ started to be arrested when he was 12 years old. He is currently only 26 years old. TJ has 230 felony criminal charges in his arrest history. I didn't stutter. He had 230 charges in his arrest history. 15 convictions. And 2 times to state prison at only 26. There's a picture of Tony Wiggins. Here is the real Tony Wiggins. He is a thug. He is a criminal. He is pure evil in the flesh. He is wild and he is out of control. Mary has 0 criminal history. 0. Robert has 1 misdemeanor arrest, virtually no arrest. Tony. 230 felony charges. They all are from the Like Wells and Frostproof area, as was our victim. When we started receiving Crime Stopper tips, and we received them, to the point that the call center said we had to bring in extra help. We had people call in from all over the nation about ideas, and helping us investigate the crime, and what they believed in psychics. But the local tips that came in that were filtered, and there were hundreds that came to us. The predominant information we got was look at TJ Wiggins from Frostproof. It's not that they had any idea that he did it, but this guy is just mean. He is just violent. He is currently out on bond for breaking a guy's arm with a crowbar during a fight waiting to go back to trial on other felony charges, this is a guy who they said will just walk up and punch you for no reason, or no reason to you. Certainly a good reason to him. You look at the Florida statutes as it appears with criminal conduct. He's got some arrest history. Everything from burglary and theft to aggravated battery, to resisting law enforcement officers, to battery on law enforcement officers, to battery on people that are 65 years or older, the elderly. He's just wild and hostile. And the people of Frostproof said, look at me. Well, let me tell you, as I introduce you to these folks and I start through the timeline, what occurred when our crime scene folks and our detectives were working on the original crime scene. What we noticed in the truck in Damien's truck, and understand, when I talk today, Damien was in the red pickup truck. And the white pickup truck had our other two victims in there, Kevin Springfield and Brandon Rollins. Kevin was driving the white pickup truck. Brandon was riding in the white pickup truck and Damien was driving his red pickup truck. The three of them decided to go to the lake to fish. What's more wholesome than three close friends fishing together in Frostproof on a Friday night? And that's what they were doing. But first, Damien stopped at the Dollar General store. And we figured that out because we saw a Dollar General bag in the victim, Damien's truck. And there were things that he purchased there. So we went to Dollar General, and I want to tell you, when you look at a professional business that was totally cooperative with us, it's Dollar General. Dollar General always works well with us because, you know, they want good customers and they don't care for criminals stealing their stuff or certainly committing murders. What we saw when we pulled the videotape was Damien standing in line to check out. The person behind him in line to check out is newsflash, T.J. The person behind TJ is Robert. And we also determined that Mary was in the store. So let us go to a timeline. At 21:50, 56 hours. We called at 9:56 in the evening. Damien is checking out of the store with his product. He is followed out of the store by TJ, who checks out about 15 seconds later. And he is also followed by his brother and his girlfriend. At 10:06 p.m., only 10 minutes later, Brandon, who is now in the white pickup truck, frantically calls his dad and says help. And I've already talked to you how Dad ran to the scene only to find the massacre at the scene. What we know is that Damien drove directly to the lake from Dollar General to meet his friends, Kevin and Brandon. What we know is that as a result of that, the murder occurred in short order in less than 10 minutes, so we have all three of the suspects in the store with Damien, and checking out 10 minutes before the frantic call for help. So our detectives now confirm that, hey, this guy, Tony or TJ, that we've received tips from is standing in line with, and had a conversation with Damien in the store. We don't have the conversation because there's no audio. But from body language, it was not violent or animated. It was just a normal conversation. But our detectives on Monday found our suspects and they were all live in on Sarver Avenue, in a family compound of camper trailers. And this is in the words outside of Frostproof, and they were living off the grid. No running water, no electricity. They had some generators. So understand that now we're talking about Frostproof in a rural part of the county. The shooting happened in a rural part of the county, and we literally have to walk the road, and we go down a dirt path through the woods that opens up into a compound off the grid. That's how far out the woods this is. So our detectives immediately interview Tony Wiggins and Robert and Mary Whitmore, Robert and Mary consistently lie to protect TJ. Robert lies to us. Mary lies to us. TJ lies to us. They don't tell us the truth. The only common thread during their interviews. Otherwise, the stories are all over the place, from different vehicles to where they went to. They didn't go anyplace, but they agreed on one thing. They went to McDonald's and ordered 10 double cheeseburgers. And to make chicken sandwiches, that's the only thing. So on Monday, we executed a search warrant at the compound. TJ was found to be in possession of 2 shotguns and 2 SCAF 7.62 rifles. He is a convicted felon. He can't possess firearms. So he was immediately arrested. Our forensic investigations team found 1 9mm shell casing. 1 at TJ trailer. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement said from the very beginning, I had 2 conversations with the commissioner this weekend. He is a dear friend of mine. He said, Grady, FDLE is here to do anything you need. And I told you about them chipping in $10,000 to help. He says, our lab's at your disposal. I called him in the afternoon. I said we need to compare some shell casings from the scene to a shell casing. Our prime suspect's house. We plan to bring it over in the morning. He said, no, bring it over tonight. And let us get started. They brought in people. That's the help. That's the team more. Why did we determine the shell casing at the scene? The shell casing at TJ's house were all fired from a Smith & Wesson handgun. And both the shell casing at home and at the scene were fired from the same weapon. The weapon that committed the massacre. In the hands of TJ. So on Tuesday, when we got the paperwork wrapped up with all of that investigation, we went back to the scene. And we asked Robert and Mary if they would join us at the sheriff's office for an interview, and they agreed to come up to the sheriff's office to talk to us. Tony had lawyered up. Mary, make some admissions. She said. I bought the ammunition. TJ was with me. Newsflash, we got video of that, too. That ammunition was purchased on the 9th of July. She also gave us once again multiple stories about being with and confirming she was in the Dollar General that night. We've got evidence to show they were together less than 10 minutes before the murder. And then when we pressed her for the details and she realized, oh my gosh, they've got me. She lawyered up. She didn't cooperate anymore. Robert, the younger brother. We talked to him. Robert, up to this moment, or up to this event, it's not a bad guy. At least in the criminal sense. 1 misdemeanor arrest. When Robert's in line, he hears Damien tell the clerk we're going fishing. Damien tells the clerk, cause the clerk knows everybody, it's a small town. Yeah, I'm going